Let's talk about something no one has probably told you with complete honesty. Why? Because a lot of people love making you believe that all you have to do is be a nice guy, touch her gently, and expect her to scream in pleasure, right? Well, enough of that. Enough of playing the fool and settling for scraps while others are out there getting what you want too. This video is going to change how you think, so if you haven't done it yet, I'll tell you this: hit like right now, subscribe to the channel, because here I'm going to tell you what you really need to know to stop being the fool in relationships. And if you're one of those who keeps trying things that don't work, this is the place to learn how to change that once and for all. 1. Discover how body language can unlock her deepest desires. Listen, you've spent your life waiting for clear, direct signals, as if she's going to hold up a sign that says, "Now's the time." How naive. Women aren't going to tell you exactly what they want, especially if they don't know you're in control of the situation. Body language is key, but you're not even aware of what it means. Stop wasting time and learn to read those signs. A woman's body is constantly telling you what to do, but if you keep being blind, they'll keep using you and tossing you into the friend zone. Want to know what turns her on? Learn to observe how she moves when she's near you. Every gesture, every look, every time she crosses her legs or touches her hair, she's giving you clues about what she wants. And you, still waiting for her to say it with words, wake up already. 2. Identify the erogenous zones no man knows how to use properly. Seriously, many of you still think there are only 2 or 3 places to touch and you're good to go. Wrong. If you keep believing that a woman's pleasure relies on those clumsy moves, you're in for a life of rejection and disappointment. Do you know what happens? Most men have no idea what really excites a woman. You need to stop being predictable. There are parts of her body that you can't even imagine are sensitive. Learn to explore, touch with purpose, not like a lost child on his first day of school. Stop being so basic. Don't be just another guy who always does the same thing and then wonders why she isn't interested. 3. Eliminate your insecurity in bed. What moves will make her lose control? Yes, I'm talking to you. How many times have you felt insecure in bed? Like she's analyzing your every move, and you, all nervous, mess everything up. That insecurity is killing you. You know what women hate? A man who isn't confident in what he's doing. I'm not saying you have to be an expert from the start, but if you come across as someone who doesn't even know what he wants, she'll lose interest in a second. You need to learn how to move with confidence, even if you're not entirely sure of everything at first. Show control, show that you know what you're doing. Confident, decisive movements will make her feel she can trust you in that moment. Because if she can't trust you there, she won't trust you outside the bed either. For how to read her body to detect the exact moment of her peak pleasure. Here's where many of you fail spectacularly. You don't know when to stop, when to keep going. You focus on the end as if that's all that matters. Wrong. If you don't learn to read her body, you're going to finish too soon or leave her unsatisfied. And even worse, you won't know why. You need to pay attention, be present, read her reactions. If you see her relaxing, changing her breathing, holding you tighter, that's when you should intensify everything. Don't play dumb, because if you do, she'll go to someone who knows when to push and when to ease off. It's not a race, it's a mental and physical game. Learn how to play it. 5. Avoid the mistakes that ruin intimacy and become the man she needs. Let's be clear. Most of you keep making the same mistakes over and over again. You come in, do the same old thing, and then wonder why she isn't responding with excitement. Stop doing the same thing all the time. Women get bored. They tire of the same predictable touches and the lack of excitement. She wants to be surprised. She wants to feel like you're the man who can give her what no one else can. Are you going to be that guy, or are you going to keep being the one who stays in mediocrity? Because let me tell you, if you keep this up, you'll be nothing but a disposable option. 6. The secret to boost your sexual confidence and make her want you more. Confidence doesn't come out of nowhere. It's built. And let me tell you something, confidence in bed is just as important as in any other part of your life. If you don't believe in yourself, she won't either. How do you expect her to desire you if you don't even know how to desire yourself? Start building your self-esteem from today. You can't go into intimacy with doubts or insecurities. She'll notice, and once she does, she'll start pulling away emotionally and physically. Work on yourself, know your worth, and you'll see how your confidence grows and she starts seeing you in a totally different way. 7. The details most men overlook when touching a woman. This is where many fail. They ignore the little details. It's not just about touching for the sake of touching. If you're not paying attention to what her body is telling you, you'll ruin the moment. Those small gestures she makes, like shifting her position, leaning into you, or pulling back a bit, are clear signs of what she likes or doesn't like. If you keep ignoring those signals, no matter how well you think you're doing, you'll fail. You need to be present, tuned into what her body is telling you at every moment. 8. How to use the right rhythm to intensify her pleasure and connect more with her. This is key. Rhythm is everything. If you go too fast or too slow, you're going to disconnect her completely. There needs to be balance, a rhythm that you both enjoy. But of course, that requires you to stop thinking only about yourself. You need to be in tune with what she's feeling. Learn to vary the rhythm, surprise her, take her to the edge, and then slow down a bit. That control of rhythm is what separates a mediocre man from one who knows what he's doing. 9. The control technique. How to bring her to the edge without losing control of the situation. Many of you lose control too quickly. You get excited, forget what you're doing, and everything falls apart. Do you know what real power is? Knowing how to control the moment. Bringing her to the edge, making her want more, and then still maintaining control of the situation. It's not just a physical thing, it's a mental game. And if you're not able to handle that control, she'll lose respect for you. Don't get too excited at the beginning, because the key is knowing how to pace yourself. That's the difference between the guy who knows and the one who's still trying. 10. How to surprise her with unexpected gestures that naturally ignite her desire. Monotony kills desire. If you always do the same thing, she's going to get bored. You need to surprise her. It's not about doing something crazy every time, but the small unexpected gestures are what make her see you differently. A touch at the right moment. A word whispered in her ear that catches her off guard. That's what ignites desire. If you've made it this far, man, leave a comment below with the word 100% or something else to let me know that you've absorbed the knowledge in this video so far. For more interesting topics, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it later. Let's keep going. How to master a woman's mind and make her surrender completely. Today we're going to talk about a topic that many of you desperately need to understand. How to master a woman's mind and make her surrender completely. And no, I'm not talking about cheap manipulation or ridiculous tricks, but about what really works. Because if you keep believing that you'll conquer her just with sweet messages or superficial gestures, you're very mistaken. Women don't work that way. And today, I'm going to show you the reality you need to face to become a man that they truly desire. So if you're tired of being rejected, of putting in effort for nothing, stay here because this video is going to change your life. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, open your eyes. 1. How to earn her trust and make her see you as the man she's always wanted. Look, trust is the first step. If you can't make a woman trust you, she'll never open up emotionally. But many of you get confused thinking that being overly nice or accommodating is what will make her trust you. Wrong. Women aren't attracted to weak men who are always available, who do everything they want without question. No, they seek a man who is confident, who has his own goals, who knows when to be present and when to stand firm in his principles. If you manage to be that type who inspires confidence without being submissive, she'll see you as the man she's always wanted by her side. But if you keep playing the good guy, buddy, she'll keep leaving you in the friend zone. 2. The power of male psychology. How to influence her deepest desires. Women won't tell you what they really want. They're not like you who can be direct. They're programmed to test you, to see if you're truly the man who can handle their emotional complexity. This is where the power of male psychology comes in. If you can understand their tests and overcome their challenges without losing your control or masculinity, I assure you that you'll influence their deepest desires. You have to be the man who challenges her, who doesn't get carried away by her mood swings, who can maintain his own frame. If you do this, she will have no choice but to see you as the strong and dominant man who can take her to her most intense emotions. 3. Break the emotional barriers that keep you away from her true intimacy. Women will always put up barriers at first. They'll test you, keep you at a certain emotional distance to see how you react. This is where many of you fail. You get scared, become accommodating, or worse, give up. Pathetic. If you want to reach her true intimacy, you have to be a man who knows how to break those barriers without becoming emotionally dependent. You have to be patient but firm. You won't achieve anything by begging or asking for explanations. Maintain your composure. Show her that you're the man who can handle her vulnerability without fear, and she'll surrender completely. 4. How to use effective communication to make her feel safe and connected. One of your biggest weaknesses is that you don't know how to communicate. You think talking about feelings is a sign of weakness, and this is where you're wrong. If you want to master a woman's mind, You need to learn to communicate in a way that makes her feel safe and connected. And no, I'm not talking about talking all the time about how you feel or being overly romantic. I mean using your words strategically, knowing when to show interest and when to stay distant. It's this kind of communication that will make her feel she can trust you with her deepest emotions. 5. Learn to decipher her subtle signals to master the game of seduction. Here's the truth no one tells you. Women will never directly tell you what they want. They won't ask you to conquer them or beg you to pay attention. No, they do it subtly, sending you hints, little gestures that many of you fail to see. You have to learn to decipher those signals. If she looks at you a certain way, seeks casual physical contact, laughs more than usual when you're around, all of that is part of the game of seduction. But you know what? Many of you still don't understand it. You keep thinking they're being nice or just being polite. Wrong. If you don't learn to pick up on those signals, they'll keep seeing you as blind in the world of seduction. 6. How to handle her tests and challenges without losing control or your masculinity. Every woman will test you, and if you don't know how to handle those challenges, she'll see you as a weak guy. This is where you need to be smart. Don't lose your control. Don't become emotionally unstable when she challenges you or pushes you to the limit. She does it to see if you're truly the man you say you are. If you crumble at the first sign, you've already lost. Stay firm in your frame, be consistent with what you say and do. It's not about being an exaggerated alpha male. It's about being a man who knows who he is and doesn't let himself be manipulated by her emotional games. 7 common mistakes that make you seem weak to her, and how to avoid them. Let's be clear. There are mistakes that make you look like an idiot, and it's time to stop making them. The first is the need for approval. If you're constantly seeking her validation, asking her to tell you your worth, you've already lost. Women don't respect men who seek their approval. Another mistake is the lack of direction. If you have no goals, if you don't know what you want in life, they'll notice. And the worst, if you're emotionally dependent, if you show yourself as needy, you'll seem weak. Learn to avoid these mistakes, and I assure you that her perception of you will change completely. 8. How to create a deep emotional connection that makes her want to be alone with you. Once you've passed her tests, proven to be the man who can handle her mind, it's time to create a deep emotional connection. And no, I'm not talking about becoming her emotional therapist. I'm talking about making her feel she can trust you, that she can be vulnerable by your side without feeling judged. That connection is what will make her want to be alone with you, feel that no one else can give her what you do. But to achieve that, you need to be consistent, firm, and emotionally stable. If you crumble or lose control, she'll lose interest quickly. 9. The psychological keys that disarm her defenses and allow you to conquer her mind. Every woman has emotional defenses. They are mechanisms they use to avoid opening up too quickly, to protect themselves. If you know how to disarm those defenses, you'll be able to conquer her mind. And this isn't about manipulation, but about understanding how they think. You have to be the man who knows when to advance and when to retreat, who doesn't push too hard but also doesn't stay waiting forever. If you play your cards right, she'll feel she can trust you, that you're the only one who truly understands her. 10. How to strengthen your self-esteem so she sees you as her best option. Nothing we've discussed will work if you don't have solid self-esteem. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't know your worth, she won't either. You have to be her best option, and that starts with how you see yourself. Strengthen your self-esteem, work on yourself, on your personal development. Don't expect her to see you as the man she desires if you don't behave like one. When you become a man who values himself, who respects himself, women notice. And not only do they notice, they seek it out. Because in the end, they want a man who knows himself as the best option. If you've made it this far, my friend, comment below with the word 100% or something similar to let me know you've received the knowledge from the video so far. For more interesting topics, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and share it later. Let's continue. The caresses that turn any woman on in minutes. Men, it's time to wake up to reality. If you're here, it's because you've realized that you have no idea how to touch a woman in a way that truly excites her. You've believed, for far too long, that simple physical contact is enough to ignite her desire. But let me be brutally honest, you're wrong. Today, I'm going to teach you how to touch a woman correctly, how to ignite her desire in minutes without seeming desperate or clumsy. Ready to stop making the same old mistakes? Then listen up, because this is something you need to hear. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. If you don't, you'll remain those men who have no clue what they're doing. 1. How to apply the right touch at the right moment to activate her desire. The first mistake many of you make is touching too quickly, too soon. You don't understand that the right moment is everything. Want to ignite her desire? Then learn to read the situation. It's not just about putting your hands on her in any way. You need to create an environment, an atmosphere where your touch is something expected and desired. If you come on too fast or clumsily, you not only kill the moment but also kill any possibility of igniting her desire. So next time, think before you act. Create anticipation. Let the touch be something she craves. 2 subtle movements that will make her feel desired and safe by your side. Men, stop thinking that the more you touch, the better. Subtlety is what really works. You don't need to be aggressive or overdo your caresses. In fact, subtle movements are what will truly make her feel desired and safe by your side. A light touch on the lower back or a gentle caress on her neck can do much more than any invasive gesture. When your touches are subtle and careful, she'll feel that you desire her, but also that you respect her, and that, friends, is what truly ignites her mind and body. 3. The power of subtlety. How to use strategic caresses to ignite her passion. The power of subtlety in physical contact is immense, but most of you don't even understand it. You think more is better, but you're wrong. Strategic, light, well-placed caresses are what truly ignite her passion. There's no need to touch everywhere. If you know how to choose the places and moments, if you know how and when to touch, you can create an instant reaction in her body. The key here is not to show desperation but to have control, to be calculated. Let her feel that you know what you're doing, that you have the power to ignite her desire without even having to try too hard. 4. How to recognize her signs of excitement and respond to them effectively. Do you know what really kills any chance of success? Not knowing how to recognize her signs. If you're not able to notice when she's starting to get excited, or if you don't know how to respond appropriately, you've already lost. Women send you signals all the time, but most of you are too caught up in your own insecurities to notice them. Learn to observe her body language, her facial expressions, how she breathes. All of this will give you clues on how to proceed. And when you see that she's responding, don't stop, but don't rush either. Keep the rhythm. Adjust your touches to her response, and you'll see desire continue to grow. 5 key points on her body that trigger an immediate response. It's time for you to understand something. Not all points on a woman's body react the same way. There are specific places that, when touched correctly, can trigger an immediate response. But it's not just about knowing where they are, but how you touch them. The neck, shoulders, lower back are sensitive areas that respond incredibly well to a soft and calculated touch. Did you know that? Or are you one of those who believe it's all about what's lower? If you focus only on the obvious, you're missing all the power these areas have. So, next time, start with the subtle, the unexpected, and you'll see her start to respond in ways you didn't expect. 6. How to turn your shyness into confidence using simple physical contact techniques. I know many of you are afraid to touch, that shyness takes over, and you end up avoiding physical contact altogether. But let me tell you something. That shyness is killing any chance of igniting her desire. What you need to do is learn to use simple techniques that give you confidence. Start slowly with small but sure gestures. A touch on the arm while talking, a slight pressure on the hand while walking. Turn that insecurity into action, but without overdoing it. The key here is that she feels you know what you're doing, even if you're nervous. Fake it until you believe it, because if she notices you falter, you'll lose her interest. 7. The most common mistakes when touching a woman and how to correct them instantly. Now, let's talk about what you're doing wrong. The most common mistakes you make when touching a woman, and believe me, you make them more than you think. One of the biggest mistakes is being too aggressive from the start. If you touch her in a rough or direct way without having created a connection first, all you'll do is scare or make her uncomfortable. Another common mistake is not measuring the duration of the touch. Don't touch for too long if the moment doesn't call for it. Correcting this is simple. Be more aware of how she's reacting, adjust your touch, and if you see she's not responding, back off. Learning to correct these mistakes instantly is what will lead to greater success. 8. How to move from discomfort to mastery in the art of touch. If you feel uncomfortable touching a woman, it's normal, but that doesn't mean you should stay there. The art of touch is learned through practice, observation, and patience. You don't need to be a master from day one, but you do need to be willing to learn and improve. The discomfort comes from the fear of doing it wrong, but if you follow the guidelines I'm giving you, little by little you'll feel more confident. Every touch, every caress should have a purpose, and when you start feeling comfortable with that, she'll notice. Mastery in touch isn't about making big or complicated movements, but about having the confidence that every small gesture will cause a positive reaction in her. 9. How to achieve a physical connection that makes her trust you on an intimate level. The ultimate goal isn't just to excite her, but to create a physical connection that makes her feel safe and trusting of you on an intimate level. If you manage to make her feel completely comfortable when you touch her, you'll have a connection that goes far beyond simple desire. And that's what will truly make her feel attracted to you in every way. Don't underestimate the power of trust. If she trusts you physically, you'll have an immense advantage. It's not just about the desire you're seeking, but the ability to create a deeper, more intimate bond that only the right touch can achieve. 10. The importance of rhythm. How to touch without rushing, but with intention to ignite her desire. Let's talk about rhythm. Rhythm is everything when you touch a woman. If you rush, you ruin it. If you go too slow, you can also lose the moment. What you need is a perfect balance between softness and firmness, between speed and slowness. The right rhythm is what will make her desire increase without her even realizing it. Touch with intention, not just for the sake of touching. Every movement should have a purpose, and if you manage to maintain a consistent yet surprising rhythm, you'll ignite her desire in a way that even she can't control. If you've made it this far, my friend, comment below with the word 100% or something similar to let me know you've received the knowledge from the video so far. For more interesting topics, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and share it later. Let's continue. The psychological technique that will make her fantasize about you constantly. Men, pay attention because what I'm about to share today can completely change how women see you. If you're tired of being just an option, of her not thinking of you as more than a friend, then you need to learn how to use the right psychological technique. I'm going to teach you how to make a woman fantasize about you constantly, how to occupy her mind without her realizing it, and how to become the man she can't stop thinking about. But before we start, you know what you need to do. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, you'll remain the same man she forgets as quickly as she came into your life. So don't waste time and act now. Let's start with the essentials. A woman's desire isn't ignited solely by the physical aspect, but by what's happening in her mind. If you know how to positively manipulate her emotions, if you manage to leave a mark on her thoughts, then you'll be on her mind all day long. And that, my friend, is what truly matters. I'll guide you step by step so you understand how to make her fantasize about you in a way that she doesn't even realize what's happening. Here we go. 1. How to use the power of anticipation to make her think about you all day. The first step, and probably the most important, is understanding the power of anticipation. If you're always there, available, with no mystery, she won't fantasize about you. Women fantasize about what they can't predict, what keeps them intrigued. What you need to do is let her think about you when you're not present. Give her small moments of attention and then disappear. Let her wonder what you're doing, why you haven't responded yet. That anticipation will drive her crazy. She needs to feel that she doesn't have you entirely, so her mind can't help but think about you. 2. Unlock her mind and make her see you as the man of her fantasies. To unlock her mind, you need to project an image of confidence. It's not about being the most handsome guy, but about being the man who knows what he wants and how to get it. Confidence is the most powerful aphrodisiac, and women can't resist a man who is comfortable with himself. Don't be afraid to show that you have a life outside of her, that you don't depend on her attention to validate yourself. This is how you start to enter her mind, little by little, until she begins to see you as the man she desires. 3. How to positively manipulate her emotions to keep you in her mind. The key to making a woman fantasize about you is knowing how to manipulate her emotions positively. It's not about deceiving her or playing games, but about understanding that emotions are the engine of her desire. If you can make her feel special at certain moments and then leave her with the expectation of more, you'll create an emotional roller coaster that keeps her hooked. Strong emotions, whether of joy or uncertainty, keep her thinking about you. She can't help it. It's her nature. And if you know how to handle those emotions, you'll be on her mind constantly. 4. Learn to create unforgettable moments that she can't stop reliving. For a woman to fantasize about you, you need to create moments she can't forget. I'm not talking about grand gestures or expensive gifts, but small emotional experiences that are etched in her memory. An intimate moment where you show her that you truly listen. An intense look, a phrase said at just the right moment. These little details are what she'll relive over and over in her mind. And every time she does, you'll be more present in her thoughts. It's about quality, not quantity. 5. How to be mysterious without appearing distant. The balance women adore. One of the most common mistakes men make is believing that being mysterious means being distant or cold. But that's not the case. Being mysterious is about maintaining an air of unpredictability without being emotionally inaccessible. Women adore men who don't reveal all their cards immediately. Don't tell her everything about yourself from the start. Let her be interested in discovering more. Let her wonder about you. But be careful, because if you become too distant, she'll lose interest. Balance is key. Show enough to hook her, but always keep something for later. 6. Use indirect language to let her build fantasies around you. Indirect language is one of the most powerful tools you can use. You don't need to directly tell her what you want her to think. You can subtly guide her to build those fantasies herself. Use comments that suggest more than they say. Ask her things that make her think about you intimately, but without being vulgar. If you manage to get her to start imagining herself with you, you're winning. Remember, what a woman imagines is much more powerful than anything you can say directly. 7. How to implant subtle ideas that keep her desiring your presence. Want a woman to keep thinking about you? Then you need to implant subtle ideas in her mind. These ideas can be small phrases, gestures, or moments that she unconsciously associates with you. Every time she sees or hears something that reminds her of you, her mind will return to that moment. That's the key to constant desire. You can't be physically present all the time, but you can ensure that her mind brings you back again and again. This is how you keep her desiring your presence. 8. How to strengthen your masculine image so she sees you as her constant fantasy. Don't underestimate the power of your masculine image. It's not just about your physical appearance, but how you behave, how you speak, how you move. Women are attracted to men who project security and control. If you can show her that you're a man who knows what he wants and doesn't need constant validation, you'll strengthen your image in her mind. And the stronger that image, the more fantasies she'll build around you. So work on yourself, on how you project yourself, because that's what she'll see every time she thinks of you. 9. The curiosity technique. How to keep her interest alive without trying too hard. Curiosity is one of the most powerful emotions you can awaken in a woman. If she always knows everything about you, if you never give her reasons to wonder what you're doing or thinking, her interest will fade. But if you manage to keep her curious, if you give her little hints about what you think or do without revealing everything, you'll keep her interest alive without trying too hard. Every time you're not with her, she'll wonder what you're doing, and that curiosity will keep you on her mind constantly. Remember, you don't need to make great efforts to keep her interested. You just need to know when to stay silent. 10. How to give her space so she misses you and, at the same time, desires to be closer. You can't always be on top of her waiting for her attention. If you never give her space, if you never disappear a little, she'll never miss you. Give her moments to feel your absence, but do it in a controlled way. Let her crave more. And when you return, make sure every encounter is memorable so the cycle repeats. Desire needs space to grow, and the more she realizes she misses you, the more she'll desire to be with you.